Today at the top 5, we've got something very special for you and your eyeballs. You might think you're seeing double, but worry not at all. It's just a lineup of twins. Yes, we've brought together some of the world's brightest, most striking, and of course most unusual twins for your enjoyment. Twins show up in all kinds of forms. Some are well known, some are incredibly old, but they all have one thing in common. There's someone else out there who's just like them. Number 15. Joy and Joyce Maxino. Joy and Joyce Maxino were born in the Philippines as craniopagus twins, meaning their skulls were fused at birth. The doctors didn't expect them to live more than a decade. On top of that, a complex separation surgery came with a $75,000 price tag and a long list of life-threatening risks. Their family couldn't afford it, and even if they could, survival odds were slim. But the girls didn't just survive. They grew into their teens, started a TikTok account, and have become minor celebrities in their country. They've built a following based on how openly they share their lives, challenges, and small daily victories. They move in sync, dress in sync, and support each other with a type of teamwork most people never experience. The connection they share is more than physical. It's emotional, mental, and unbreakable. Despite the limitations placed on them early in life, Joy and Joyce have found a way to rise together. So, don't believe everything that your DOC says. Number 14. Ava Marie and Leah Rose Clements. Ava and Leah Clements were thrust into the modeling world before they even understood what it was. Born in California, the twin sisters were just 7 years old when their mom opened an Instagram account at the suggestion of friends, and things took off. Agencies reached out, photo shoots came one after another, and soon the girls were landing fashion campaigns for brands across the globe. Often referred to as the most beautiful twins in the world, the Clements girls fit right into the glossy world of teen modeling. But behind the staged images, they're still just two sisters navigating school, growing up, and online fame at the same time. As their Instagram following crossed 2 million, the balance between career and childhood became more important. Their parents have said they're committed to keeping things healthy, letting the girls decide how far they want to go. So far, the Clements twins are still smiling and still trending. Number 13. Need and Nellie Kolstein. Need and Nellie Kolstein were born conjoined at the head, one of the super rarest and most dangerous forms of conjoinment. Doctors warned their mother early on, survival past childhood was unlikely, and separation was out of the question. They share a vital artery at the back of their skulls, making any surgical attempt near impossible. Yet despite the odds stacked against them, they didn't just survive. They thrived. At 18, they launched a YouTube channel, showing the world how they navigate life with optimism and strength. Each twin has her own brain and personality, yet they function together with remarkable harmony. Their resilience has not only baffled doctors, but also inspired many viewers. What was once considered a tragic diagnosis turned into a shared life full of laughter, learning, and a fierce sense of independence. Instead of being defined by what they lack, Need and Nellie are celebrated for everything they've made possible. Number 12. Ganga and Jamuna Mondal. Back in 2014, Ganga and Jamuna made headlines, not just because they were conjoined, but because of their love life. Known in India as the Spider Sisters, they worked in a traveling circus and met the man they'd eventually marry while he was employed there as a sound technician. For most of their lives, they'd faced rejection from neighbors, from the public, and even from their own parents, who abandoned them as teens because of mounting medical costs and cultural stigma. Life in the circus was isolating, exhausting, and far from glamorous, but it gave them a livelihood, and unexpectedly, a partner who accepted them both. They've since become symbolic of perseverance, not just for enduring their condition, but for carving out their own version of happiness. The sisters, who are now well into their 50s, remain among the world's oldest living conjoined twins. Their story didn't follow convention, but it followed something better. their own path. Number 11. Anna and Lucy de Cinque. Anna and Lucy aren't just identical. They've made it their mission to be indistinguishable in every possible way. Born in Perth, Australia, the sisters became internationally known for their extreme lifestyle choices. They wear the same clothes, eat the same meals, and even date the same man, Ben Byrne. Yes, one boyfriend, two girlfriends, by choice. The trio has shared their story on shows around the world, from tabloid interviews to documentary specials. But Anna and Lucy take it even further. They've said they want to get pregnant at the same time, raise their kids the same way, and continue living every moment as a shared experience. While some might see it as obsessive, they say it simply feels natural. To them, living life as one isn't a gimmick, it's their truth. Their story might raise eyebrows, but in their eyes, it's just what makes them feel complete. It is unconventional, absolutely, but undeniably committed to each other. Number 10. Lucy and Maria Elmer. Lucy and Maria are living proof that twins don't always come as carbon copies. Born in 1997 to a mixed-race couple in the UK, Jamaican-British mother and white-British father, the sisters defy the typical twin stereotype. Maria has darker skin and curly black hair, while Lucy is fair-skinned with red hair and blue eyes. This striking difference caused constant disbelief growing up. Strangers often refused to believe they were related, let alone twins, to the point where they were pressured into showing birth certificates. The girls have grown used to the confusion, but they've also leaned into their uniqueness. Their story has drawn widespread media attention, challenging outdated ideas about genetics and race. They've used their platform to speak openly about identity and individuality. While being twins often means blending in, Lucy and Maria prove that being polar opposites can be just as powerful, if not more unforgettable. Number 9. Ronnie and Donnie Gallion. Ronnie and Donnie were born in 1951 in Dayton, Ohio, joined from the chest to the pelvis. Doctors quickly ruled out separation due to the extent of shared organs. Because of this, the twins faced a rough start, were denied school education, and were treated as outcasts. They couldn't read or write growing up, and instead found their livelihood touring in sideshows across the US and Latin America. What might have seemed like exploitation actually became a way to support their entire family financially. They were seen as a marvel and eventually embraced that role. Despite public curiosity, their private bond ran deep. After retiring, they lived a quieter life in their hometown, making the occasional TV appearance. When they passed away in 2020 at age 68, Ronnie and Donnie held the record for the world's longest-living conjoined twins. Their life wasn't easy, but it was undeniably theirs, full of survival, grit, and an inseparable connection from birth to the end. Number 8. Kin and Gin Kani. Born in 1892 in Nagoya, Japan, Kin Narita and Gin Kani were once the oldest living identical twins on record. Kin passed away at 107, and Gin followed just a year later at 108. Their names fittingly mean gold and silver, a nod to both longevity and value. What baffled researchers was that despite being confirmed identical twins, they didn't share the same blood type, something that's extremely rare and still scientifically puzzling. Throughout their incredibly long lives, Kin and Gin became national treasures in Japan. They were known for their humor, charm, and frank wisdom on everything from health to family. Between them, they had 6 children, 11 grandchildren, and 7 great-grandchildren. When asked about their secret to long life, they credited simple food, daily routines, and laughter. These sisters not only aged with grace, they did it side by side, with matching grins and an unshakable bond that lasted over a century. Number 7. Adam and Neil Pearson. Adam and Neil Pearson were born identical, but the effects of neurofibromatosis made sure no one would ever confuse them. This rare genetic condition affects the nervous system, causing benign tumors to grow along nerves. Adam's face has been heavily impacted by visible growths, while Neil's symptoms are mostly internal, primarily memory loss and other neurological damage. Despite looking nothing alike now, their bond remains rooted in shared experience. The condition is unpredictable. In some people, symptoms remain mild. In others, they lead to hearing loss, chronic pain, or disfigurement. Adam has spoken openly about how society reacts to visible differences, pushing for better representation of people with disfigurements in media. Neil, though less in the spotlight, faces his own challenges quietly. Their lives are shaped by the same diagnosis, yet their paths are distinct. Together, they offer two completely different windows into how one rare disorder can take on radically different forms and still link two lives. Number 6. June and Jennifer Gibbons. June and Jennifer Gibbons weren't just twins. They were isolated, inseparable, and misunderstood. Born in 1963 to Barbadian parents in the UK, they grew up in Wales, where they became the only black children in their school. Faced with relentless racism and rejection, the girls began speaking only to each other in a private language no one else could understand. Teachers, psychologists, and their parents tried everything, including separating them. The result? Silence. Catatonia. They were eventually institutionalized after a series of minor crimes, and in 1981, the British courts sent them to Broadmoor Hospital, a high-security psychiatric facility meant for violent criminals. They spent 11 years there. In 1993, Jennifer died suddenly from a heart condition. Afterward, June slowly rejoined the world, claiming they were punished not for what they did, but for who they were: silent, different, and uncooperative. Their story is a tragedy, but also a stark reflection of what happens when uniqueness is treated like a threat. Number 5. Shivanath and Shivram Sahu. Shivanath and Shivram Sahu were born in Kenda village, India, joined at the waist. They have 2 legs and 4 arms, and despite several offers from international doctors to separate them, they've never once considered it. The twins say they were created this way for a reason and believe their condition is a gift, not something to be fixed. Medical professionals had once believed separation was viable, but the brothers declined, stating that their bond is not just physical but spiritual. Now in their 20s, they move through life as a unit, literally and mentally. They've learned to coordinate everything, walking, bathing, studying, without frustration or regret. One soul, 2 bodies, they say. Their outlook confounds some and inspires others, but one thing's clear: they've chosen their path and own it fully. For them, individuality exists within unity. In a world that constantly pushes for independence, they've made interdependence look not just possible, but empowering. All right, guys, now let's move to Number 4. Billy Leon and Benny Lloyd McCrary. Billy and Benny McCrary, more widely known as the McGuire twins, weren't just identical brothers. They were a Guinness World Record. Born in Hendersonville, North Carolina, they became famous as the heaviest set of twins ever recorded. At their peak, the combined weight of the two hit nearly 1,500 pounds. Their immense size was tied to pituitary damage from early childhood measles, and by the age of 10, they weighed over 200 pounds each. They turned that reality into a career, performing across the U.S. in carnivals and on television, where their massive physiques were both spectacle and livelihood. Outside the ring, they were known for riding matching motorcycles, an image that stuck with fans long after. Billy died in a crash at 32. Benny lived until 2001. Their story isn't about vanity or spectacle. It's a strange slice of Americana where genetics, illness, and entertainment collided. And whether celebrated or criticized, they always showed up as themselves. What do you think about them? Let us know. Number 3. Cousins born to two sets of twins. When two identical twin sisters marry two identical twin brothers, things are already a bit unusual. But when both couples have children, that's where it gets genetically interesting. Brianna and Brittany married Josh and Jeremy Salyers after meeting at the Twins Day Festival in Twinsburg, Ohio. A year later, they held a double wedding at the same event and moved into the same house. Soon after, both couples welcomed baby boys. Because both sets of parents share the same DNA, the cousins are actually considered genetic siblings, even though legally they're not. They look nearly identical and are being raised under the same roof, which only adds to the blur between cousinhood and brotherhood. This whole dynamic became a reality TV segment, of course, because where else would it land but on TLC? Still, for the Salyers family, it's not about the spotlight. It's about building a life where the lines of family just happen to double. Number 2, Megan and Morgan Boyd. Megan and Morgan were born in 2013 and instantly became social media sensations. What caught everyone's attention wasn't just that they were adorable twins, it was their eyes. Megan has 2 bright blue eyes, Morgan has 1 blue and 1 brown. That rare combination, called heterochromia, appears in only a small fraction of the population. Their mother began posting their photos on Instagram when they were still toddlers, and the internet couldn't get enough. Thousands of followers quickly became hundreds of thousands. Their blue eyes are a family trait, shared by their mother and passed down from their grandfather, but paired with their deep brown skin, it created a look people just weren't used to seeing. The twins became known as the True Blue Twins, not just for their looks, but for their calm, expressive energy in front of the camera. Now, teenagers, they're still modeling and still turning heads without saying a single word. Number 1. Lara and Mara Bawar. Lara and Mara Bawar caught the attention of a Swiss photographer in 2016 who couldn't look away from their striking appearance. The girls, born with albinism, were living in São Paulo, Brazil, when their unique look opened unexpected doors. Their pale skin and white hair stood out sharply against traditional beauty standards. Yet that's exactly what captivated the fashion world. The images from that one project spread fast, landing them campaigns with major brands and features in global fashion magazines. Their visibility sparked important conversations about beauty, diversity, and the power of representation. While many twins are recognized for how identical they look, Lara and Mara became known for standing out, not just from each other, but from nearly everyone else in their industry. They've since become symbols of pride for the albinism community and for Black girls around the world who rarely see themselves celebrated on such platforms. Their look changed the lens, literally. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.